Rapaziada, meu nome é Christopher Lee. I'm struggling. I think that's a cut.
Okay.
Hello guys, I'm Ludwig Rehnquist, better known as Smiley. I'm 25 and I play AD carry for Vivo Kid.
Meu nome completo é Fábio Luiz Bezerra Marques, meu nick é para Delta, eu jogo de suporte na Vivo Kid.
Meu nome é Guilherme Araújo Ruiz, eu tenho 21 anos, eu sou top lane e meu nick é Gigo.
Oi, meu nome é Loic, tenho 22 anos, sou milênior para Vivo Kid. Is good?
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Meu nome é Pedro Arthur Cavalcante Gonçalves, eu tenho 20 anos, eu jogo jungle e meu nick é de exames.
So my name is Christopher Lee. I am the head coach at Vivo Cade Stars. My in-game name is CL and I'm 27 years old.
First game, it's hard to remember, but first game I remember is Battle for Middle-earth, which is like a old school RTS game that my dad played. And then I forced him to let me play. And how I transitioned was just my older brother, some of my friends started playing League. I was like, okay, it's a cool game. I played it, I thought it sucked, and I went to play World of Warcraft again, but then I came back.
O primeiro jogo que eu joguei acho que foi Crossfire. Eu jogava com um amigo meu de escola, o irmão dele, e depois de um tempo eles começaram a jogar LoL e eles me apresentaram o jogo. No começo eu não gostava de jogar, eu só ficava assistindo. Aí depois de um tempo eu comecei a jogar, eu jogava acho que era de Malphite, Garen, assim. Aí depois de uns anos eu comecei a jogar com outros bonecos.
O primeiro jogo que eu joguei foi Zelda, Ocarina of Time, do Nintendo 64. E eu migrei pro LoL porque meus irmãos jogavam Dota, aí eles me ensinaram a jogar Dota. Meu irmão tinha um amigo que gostava muito de LoL, tava lançando lá na época, e ele falou que era um jogo que era melhor que Dota, e a gente foi experimentar e a gente acabou gostando.
I think it was Crash Bandicoot in a PlayStation 1. And how I transitioned to League, people played League of Legends in high school, so I just played some casually.
The decision was kind of happened organically. It wasn't something that I really decided on. It was like a pipe dream I had when I was a kid. But I got reached out after taking Challenger in solo queue, started playing some Swedish LANs. Then I went to the United Kingdom and played some LANs there. And then I decided to hop off school and begin my pro playing career. Then I decided that was not a good idea, so I went back and finished school. No, I had support from my parents at all times. When I hopped off school, my mom was like, okay, you should at least finish high school. And I agreed with her. And I'm glad I did it. But they're very supportive, watch all my games and they cheer me on, so I really appreciate and love them for that.
Sobre ser pro player, no começo eu não imaginava. Quando eu cheguei, acho que era no Diamante, assim, um time de amigos me chamou e a gente começou a jogar. O time chamava For Dorans. E depois disso eu percebi que dava pra mim pensar em ser realmente pro player, eu comecei a acompanhar o cenário. Isso acabou se tornando uma vontade que eu tive. E sobre minha família, no começo era bem difícil, porque eles não tinham muita noção. Na cabeça deles era faculdade, tem que estudar, tem que ter o seu diploma, tem que formar para depois ter alguma coisa, ter algum trabalho normal. Então no começo foi difícil, mas hoje em dia eles me apoiam demais em tudo e é bem bom.
Na época foi meio que uma surpresa, assim, porque eu não tava pensando em ser pro player, eu só tava jogando solo kill e eu acabei pegando top 6 ou top 7, alguma coisa assim. E aí a Red acabou falando comigo na época, aí a Red me chamou, o Lep me adicionou no LoL, na verdade, me chamou para participar da Red, falou que eles iam fazer uma proposta e tal. Meus pais já sabiam mais ou menos como é que funcionava o cenário, porque meu irmão foi um pro player antes, ele chamava Steel e tinha jogado na Team One. Então eles meio que já sabiam como é que funcionava, que dava dinheiro e tal, era bem profissional, então foi tudo de boa.
So I was still in school, but I really wanted to be pro. So basically I was just playing for fun League of Legends, like a lot of people. And then I reached Challenger, and I was like 15, I think, 16, I don't remember. But the thing is I was still at school and I didn't graduate high school yet. And my parents really wanted me to. So I had to wait, but I still had this dream of becoming a pro gamer. So my parents didn't know everything about it at the start. They were like a bit worried. So what I did is that I told them, okay, so I graduate high school, then you give me like one gap year. So I try, and then we see, And luckily, 2 months before graduating, I got my first contract in a team with salary and stuff. So I graduated, and then I joined the team, and then I started my career, and they were always fine with that.
Eu já queria virar pro player, assim, desde que eu peguei um elo mais ou menos bom no LoL, tipo Diamond, lá na Season 5, eu acho. E eu já acompanhava o cenário, achava da hora os campeonatos. No começo a minha mãe não entendia direito, mas como meu irmão também jogava LoL e sabia dos campeonatos, ele meio que explicou pra minha mãe como é que era e que era suave e falou que eu era bom, que eu tinha potencial. E aí, hoje em dia, todo mundo me apoia, toda a minha família me apoia e todo mundo entende.
I was in my last year of university. I was studying a finance economics double major. I had finished my internship where I was a marketing intern, and I had realized after finishing my internship that I didn't have an edge compared to other people. And if you want to live a good life, I think that you need to have something that other people don't. So yeah, I looked and decided, hey, this esports industry, it's 2018. It's growing 100% year by year. I think I could be an esports expert, whether that's as a financial analyst, whether that's as an investment banker. And I explored all the options, how the business operated, how coaching worked, how management worked. I worked at ESL as a player manager and translator. And then, I dwelled a little bit on coaching because I thought it was a lot of fun. Did a lot of research on traditional academic journals as well as traditional sports. Wrote some papers, posted on Reddit. That Reddit hit the front page. Mark Merrill, the founder of Riot Games, the guy that made League of Legends, at the time the CEO as well, retweeted it, and I thought it was an opportunity. So I didn't have a Twitter account. I went and made a Twitter account, and I messaged him and I said, hey, do you want to get some coaching? And I didn't know anything about I didn't know much about League of Legends, that's for sure. I had played the game that year, but then he said yes. He even paid me, so that's how I got started, and then we kind of expanded there. I just realized that the industry was very young. There was not many people, or not almost any people that I knew that knew what they were doing. So I found a lot of success there, and then eventually I got a head coach offer in Oceania, which I decided to pursue and defer my studies by 1 year with the intention that, hey, if I make it, let's take a shot. If I don't, then we go back to school. So that's how I started.
Competition, I guess, because it's really what drives me, especially since I've been in it for such a long time that the game itself doesn't necessarily excite me super much, but the idea of competing and trying to be the best is what really drives me on.
Acho que LoL eu penso em competição, porque é o que, querendo ou não, eu penso 24/7, que é o jogo, que é competir, como eu vou conseguir transformar isso em alguma coisa que eu possa usar dentro de jogo, como eu vou poder aprender com isso, então acho que é competição.
Eu. Por quê? Sei lá. Você fez uma pergunta, eu respondi.
Faker, porque o cara é lendário, absurdo.
Então, minha primeira experiência foi na Kabum, assim, quando eu cheguei na GH lá. Foi uma experiência bem diferente, porque eu nunca tinha saído de casa, primeira vez vindo para São Paulo, e eu tava morando numa game house, então tinha que conviver com outras pessoas, era tipo aprender a lidar com as pessoas. E história engraçada, eu não vou ter uma, mas a época que eu assim, que foi mais divertida foi a época que eu joguei na Fury Academy, que era eu, Gucci, Betão e Tarin, os dois tops. Mid a gente tinha o Kiki e a descer Steps, era uma época muito divertida, e aquilo ali foi tipo, quando eu percebi que valeria muito a pena eu me dedicar ao jogo, porque sempre ia ter pessoas boas assim comigo.
Mano, só tem história esquisita, tá ligado? Uma coisa muito engraçada que aconteceu comigo no começo, e acho que, não sei se acontece com a maioria, mas foi que quando eu entrei na época lá da Red, a gente tinha 2 times, tinha o time principal e o time secundário. E quando a gente começou a treinar contra o time principal, os caras que, já tava treinando fazia 4, 5 anos assim no Cblol, e a gente que entrou agora não sabia de nada, dava muito jogo contra os caras, sabe? A gente chegava a ganhar, chegava a perder, ficava bem empatado assim. E geral me elogiava bastante, assim, eu não achei que eu ia ter todo esse impacto, ser tão bom assim no começo. Então foi algo que me motivou a continuar e saber que eu poderia ser um dos melhores, assim.
So I started being like in my first team. We were playing like in a French Division 2, basically. It was my very first team ever. And I remember it was actually a lot of fun because like we were all first-time pro gamer, basically. Like we've never been pro gamer before in our life, all of us. So we just discovered that together. And this was a really, really cool experience, like just being with all of those people that were just really happy to do that, like finally. And we spent a lot of really quality months, and we were doing very great also in the standings. So it was overall a good experience when I remember about it. But that was overall a very great experience.
Minha primeira experiência no Academy foi muito da hora e muito engraçada também, porque era todos moleque novo, começando todo mundo jogando junto, então... E era GH, então todo mundo morava junto, dormia tudo em quarto junto, então foi muito engraçado. E alguma história específica, assim, várias, assim, que era bizarro. Tipo, sei lá, o teto caindo, todo mundo dando risada junto. Tipo, às vezes no review a gente não prestava atenção no review e ficava só zoando um com o outro. Então era meio várzea, assim, mas era muito da hora de jogar.
Yeah, we have many. This was the roster with Croc in it. For those of you that don't know, he was one of my first players ever. And we got 2 Koreans and 3 native players that had a lot of potential. And we really thought we could win the title. I signed the contract. I was at Korea at the time doing some work for my family business, and I fly over expecting everything to be done. There's no house, there's no computers. Croc's visa was delayed. And so I had 4 players, an Airbnb with 3 rooms and a tilted couch, 45 degrees, that I had to sleep on for a week. So that was my first experience in esports. And yeah, we scrimmed with a sub for like 2.5 weeks until Croc came 3 days before competition. And then we just went 9-0. There's a funny story. That was my debut split. There we go.
I mean, it's always losing in some regard, right? And doubting. In some points of my career, I was doubting myself a lot because I think I did really good at some points and I didn't get the opportunities, and then I'm like wondering, okay, what am I doing wrong? And is this something that I can strive for? But I think everyone who has had a long career has had their struggles, you know. So it can be mental health, or it can be doubts or anxiety to play, compete, and I think the best way is just to talk to people about stuff you struggle with. But I think right now I'm in a really good spot mentally, but people help me on the way, for sure.
Acho que o mais difícil foi lidar com a minha frustração no split que eu tava só assistindo, no split que eu tava de sexto jogador, porque é muito agoniante. Você pensa, talvez eu não podia ter o nível, mas na minha cabeça eu tinha o nível, eu queria jogar, eu queria poder ajudar o time, a gente não tava tendo um momento muito bem na PEN, e eu sentia que eu podia ajudar, queria muito jogar, mas você não poder jogar e ter só que assistir e ajudar de fora, e nem é muita coisa que eu conseguia ajudar, porque eu não era o staff, era só um jogador. Foi uma época muito agoniante e, tipo, sei lá, cheguei a pensar em desistir, pensei em parar de jogar, mas no final deu tudo certo.
Acho que foi ter jogado no circuitão por 2 anos seguidos. Acho que foi uma época muito estressante da minha vida, assim, um time que era muito tóxico, que, cara, sinceramente, assim, tô muito grato de ter saído o melhor disso tudo hoje. Acho que tudo serviu para um bem maior, sabe? Acho que hoje em dia eu tô num time muito bom, com uma galera muito boa, e acho que a gente tá vindo com tudo aí.
I mean, it's a bit personal, you know, but like, I think I fucked up some things in my career. I took like some bad decisions sometimes. I could have done better in my career, you know. I still think I'm like good enough to like do a lot of stuff, you know. But I still have some regrets with some decision I took and some struggle I had to face, I guess. Yeah, if I think about my biggest struggle, yeah, it's not. I don't feel very good about them, you know.
Acho que o maior desafio, assim, é sempre, tipo, você perder um split e entender o porquê que você perdeu, como que você pode melhorar. Então, acho que todo split que você perde é um desafio, assim.
Sleeping on a 45-degree couch and then playing 4v5 scrims with Croc in Korea, and then him arriving 3 days before competition was pretty difficult. I think that 2020 year was defining for me as a coach, because I didn't know what I was doing. I lacked game knowledge, but this was a year where I had no distractions. I worked 100-hour weeks because I was doing general manager, like handling business, handling accounting. I was getting up at 5 a.m. in the morning to cook for the players because the nutrition was not good. I put tens of thousands of dollars of my own money to make sure that we had enough money for food, because our operating costs were so low. And that was probably the most difficult year, because there was so much learning to do, so little resources. And if you want to make it out of a region, if you want to be at the top, you need to make some serious sacrifices. You need to be better than everyone else, and that was the primary challenge. So yeah, that was the most difficult year of my career.
That you work very closely with your colleagues, like after a while it doesn't even feel like a working relationship anymore, and it's really cool. Like especially some teams I've been in, you got really close and you really fight for each other, you know. It's like this incredible bond that I think is hard to find in other work spaces, I would imagine. And a negative, I guess, is like finding the right work and life balance. It's something I struggle with too, because it can get very daunting to, you know, you have to grind, you want to be the best. And finding that balance, like also with like family, friends, going out, you know, like what normal people do in our age, that's a struggle I think a lot of us go through.
Acho que a parte positiva é o que Acho que todo mundo acabou comentando que é que você poder trabalhar com o que você ama, você poder jogar um jogo e viver a vida disso, conseguir tirar dinheiro disso, seu sustento de um jogo, que é algo que você joga desde que é criança, então você tem um apego muito bom pelo jogo. E a parte ruim é que é uma vida muito diferente, então meio que ninguém tá acostumado ainda, nem mesmo a gente, é uma vida muito maçante, que você tem que dedicar quase o dia inteiro. Você trabalha jogando, no seu tempo livre você tá jogando também, você tá estudando o jogo o tempo todo, você conversa com outras pessoas sobre o jogo, então se você não se cuidar, se você não tirar o tempo para fazer outras coisas, você pode acabar chegando num nível que você só vai se atrapalhar em vez de ajudar e pode virar uma bola de neve.
Cara, a parte positiva é que você literalmente trabalha com o que você gosta, né? Que é jogar um jogo de computador. Então, mesmo que seja profissionalizado, mesmo que você tenha que pensar como um trabalho, né? Ainda é algo que te proporciona diversão. E acho que a negatividade é que é algo que é muito maçante, sabe? Você tem que treinar muito no dia a dia, você tem que basicamente direcionar a sua vida só para isso. Você acaba não tendo muito tempo para nada, mas é isso. No fim, a gente gosta.
I think the positive part is that like you get to play a video game you love, you know, like as I said, when I started League I was addicted to the game, and yeah, as long as you realize that the game is like the same as the game that when you started playing, then you're gonna have fun for a long time, you know. And I think that's very cool, like there's always a lot of stuff to improve on, to think about, a lot of changes on the game, so it's always like refreshing, exciting, and honestly we are all so lucky, you know, we are all very lucky to be able to make a living out of League, and that's something I'm very grateful for. Yeah, the negative aspect of it is that, yeah, like if you want to compete, if you really have ambition, sometimes it can be a bit challenging, you know, to cope when you lose or when you think don't go as well as you want them to. So that would be for me the negative part about the job, but overall I'm very grateful to be able to play League for a living.
For me, the positives is that I get to positively impact the people around me if I take the right actions, if I build up my players. And you can see a real impact in their performance. But the negative part is, and it's, I mean, I guess it's also the reason why it's so thrilling, is we are in competition. So competition, 90% of competition is about doing things that other people don't want to do. So the negative part is it's so results-based. No matter how much I try to be process-driven and how much the players try to be process-driven, I think it's very hard sometimes to see that when you have a poor result. So that would be the negative.
No, I would say that you're greater than you think you are, and you know, just anything you put your mind to, you can be good at, I think so.
Diria para ser um pouco mais egoísta, não pensar tanto nos outros em vez de pensar em mim, começar a me colocar à frente das minhas decisões e sempre seguir meu sonho, que uma hora tudo vai dar certo.
Continua jogando LoL e pensa melhor quando você receber sua primeira proposta, porque eu tenho certeza que você vai receber mais propostas no futuro e poder decidir melhor o que você quer para sua vida.
A lot of stuff. He will realize his dream, you know, like it will just take a couple years and stuff, but he will like find a job he loves and realize his dream, and that it's not always perfect, you know, but in the end he is gonna make it.
Eu diria para se dedicar muito ao jogo e ser menos tímido também.
I don't know, I mean, I was pretty smart as a kid. I was a tough one. Just keep doing what you're doing. You did good.
I mean, my first impression of Cade as an org has been really amazing. Like, I haven't had a bad interaction with anyone. Everyone's very welcoming to me, even though I'm a gringo. So I feel really good, and like the team atmosphere is amazing. And I think what Chris Seal is trying to create here is something really special in the scene, from what I understand. So I'm super excited, and I think, at least in the long run, like this project will bring home titles.
Eu espero que seja uma experiência muito boa, estou muito animado. Eu sinto que eu posso confiar em qualquer um aqui, tanto jogadores, staff e até mesmo a galera que trabalha do lado de fora. Todo mundo me recepcionou muito bem, sempre tem uma vibe muito legal. E agora é fazer valer por essa oportunidade. Acho que todo mundo está se dedicando muito, e o fato de todo mundo se dedicar faz os outros se dedicar mais. Você olha pro lado, tem todo mundo assistindo LoL, vendo LoL jogando, conversando sobre. Então é muito bom você poder olhar pro lado também, confiar em quem tá do seu lado, e é isso. Espero que seja bom.
Acho que agora no comecinho assim tá sendo bem diferente, bem legal, porque eu nunca tive que comunicar em inglês com o time, e também é muito abrangente assim para mim eu aprender como é que outros jogadores de outras regiões do resto do planeta funcionam, sabe como é que eles pensam dentro de jogo e fora de jogo. Então tá sendo uma experiência muito positiva e muito enriquecedora pra mim. E eu acho que a gente ainda tem muito potencial. A gente tem 2 rookies aí no time que não tiveram muita experiência jogando e acho que a gente consegue passar muito dessa carga que a gente tem pra eles, sabe? Então acho que a gente consegue vir muito bem aí pra esse Cblol.
I mean, maybe I come with like a lot of hopes, you know, but like I expect it to be very great with like a lot of lovely fans and good environment where we can be happy and be good and just play good together. Yeah, I mean, I just expect it to be like a very, very, very cool experience where I hope we're gonna win everything, and this would be. Yeah, this was the hope I had when I signed here.
Acho que vai ser divertido. Acho que vai ser da hora jogar com todo mundo. É a primeira vez que eu tô falando inglês também, então acho que vai ser muito divertida e vai ser legal.
I think it will be an interesting experience where I get to finally do everything that I envision, and the fact that I'm able to do that here, that's very exciting, and I'm really looking forward to that. But at the same time, it's going to be a massive learning journey because I'm so far from where I need to be, a great leader. There are so many things that I'll have to learn, adapt, and just kind of experience again. Because the last time I was a head coach, I was only a year and a half into coaching. So it's going to be a challenge, but I just have to take responsibility and do a good job.
I would say it's probably double lift actually, because when I really got into the league scene, like professionally, like watching and stuff, I was watching NA and I was a huge CLG fan, and I think double lift's story of being kicked out of his house and not accepted into his family after he made the decision to go pro is like really inspiring. Like he really grinded his way up, and he was like a shit talker, he was a cocky kid. I really respect it, and he backed it up with performance. So I'd say he's like the foundation, like of why I wanted to become an AD carry in the first place.
Acho que tirando o pro assim, eu colocaria no geral minha família, mas principalmente minha mãe, porque ela é uma pessoa muito guerreira que faz tudo por todo mundo. Acho que ela não se prioriza tanto igual ela pode e mesmo assim ela consegue, sei lá, ajudar todo mundo, fazer tudo por todo mundo, e isso é muito da hora de ver e me inspira assim a ser uma pessoa boa também.
Acho que minha maior inspiração assim é o meu pai, porque meu pai veio de uma família muito pobre, assim, que basicamente minha avó não tinha dinheiro para comprar comida para todo mundo, sabe? Minha avó, sei lá, jantava arroz e dava ovo pros meus pais, pros meus tios, né? E ele basicamente conseguiu sozinho estudar, sabe? Crescer na vida sem ter nada, e pra mim isso é algo muito foda, tá ligado? Porque não é todo mundo que tem essa garra, essa força de vontade para, cara, literalmente dar um orgulho pra sua família, fazendo tudo que é possível para dar uma condição melhor pra todo mundo, sabe? Então eu admiro muito meu pai.
No, I think my biggest inspiration was always and is still like Broxton, because the way like he was just playing video game to like kind of escape his life sometimes, and then he became like a legend from it. I have a lot of admiration for this guy, and I think his journey was amazing. So yeah, he would be my inspiration, and he was my inspiration when I started. I hope I'm gonna be able to go to Worlds and do a bunch of cool stuff like him.
Eu vou falar que é o Faker, porque eu acompanho ele desde que ele começou a jogar, e depois de tantos anos, depois de 10 anos, ele continua ganhando, ele continua sendo um dos melhores, e ele é muito bravo.
For me, it would be my grandmother. So my grandmother, she's 90 this year, 90 last year, sorry. And she lived through the Korean War. She raised 3 kids in complete poverty and raised our family to have a good life by making sacrifices that I think you don't find very often. And like my father was the problem child, so she dealt with that all her life, 50, 60, 70 years. But what she taught me was you look after your people, you have a responsibility towards people, and I think fundamentally the way that she treated people, the way that she has taught me to treat people has set my ethical boundaries as well as my mission when it comes to living out my life. So yeah, she would definitely be a role model, an incredible woman, an incredible person, and just glad that I got someone like that in my life.
I think you guys have a lot to be excited about for this year and the years to come. I'm just gonna do my best to deliver on that promise that we're gonna win. Maybe not spring, but definitely summer if not spring. I appreciate all the love and support I've gotten so far. It's really amazing, like the Brazilian passion behind all this, and yeah, keep cheering for us. See you at Cblol.
Sons Arcade, muito obrigado pela recepção, foi muito foda, vocês mandando mensagens positivas, isso ajuda muito, deixa muito feliz e podem continuar apoiando, que a gente vai se dedicar ao máximo e fazer valer essa expectativa que tá todo mundo colocando na gente. Obrigado.
Podem esperar muito da gente nesse split, porque acho que vocês vão se surpreender.
I mean, thank you so much to the fans. Like, I know you are so many and you are like so lovely and you are like a lot of you are like contacting us, interacting with us, sending me private messages. Like, just big thank you for this. And I hope this year is gonna be great and we're gonna do everything for it to happen.
Rapaziada, muito obrigado pelo apoio, pela torcida e acompanha a gente nesse próximo split que com certeza vai ser da hora e esperem coisas boas da gente.
I mean, I don't want to just say, hey, thanks guys, because without you, nothing's possible. You know, I think that's common sense, and I do appreciate that. What I will say is, whatever the persona or the image or whatever we say and do on social media, behind the scenes we will work 210%. Our mission, our absolute mission, is not to come in and pretend to be some savior of Brazil. I think it's horseshit. I think what's important is we come here and we try to build something that is sustainable and forward-looking, and we're going to come here to win. Everything that we do here is to win and lift the championship. I really do believe this year we can win. Every single day we'll come into the office, first in, last out, put 210%, so you guys can trust us to do that. But even if the results don't follow through, you can trust us that we're going to continue to make changes, we're going to continue to make improvements, not just myself and the players, but all the staff, the management, all the support staff, the content people. Every single person here is putting in 210%. We really believe in this project, so please don't lose faith in us and continue to support us. Thank you very much.